Hello, and thank you for tuning in to History of Everything. And on this video, I'm going to go over the top 5 historical events that happened during the American Civil War. Now, keep in mind that all these 5 entries are all important events that happened during the Civil War. Now, with that out of the way, let's start at number 5. With the Battle of Fort Sumter. The Battle of Fort Sumter was the very first battle that started the Civil War on April 12, 1861. Forces from the Confederate States of America attacked the United States military garrison at Fort Sumter, South Carolina. Less than 2 days later, the fort surrendered. Only one Union soldier lost his life at the battle. A Confederate victory at the Battle of Fort Sumter resulted in enormous support for military action from both the North and the South. President Lincoln called for 75,000 volunteers to suppress the rebellion, while 4 more states joined the Confederacy. Coming in at number 4, we have the Battle of Gettysburg. The Battle of Gettysburg was a Union victory that stopped Confederate General Robert E. Lee's second invasion of the North. More than 50,000 men fell casualties during the 3-day battle, making it the bloodiest battle of the American Civil War. Although there were many casualties at Gettysburg, this battle was a major turning point of the American Civil War, turning it in the favor of the Union. This is why the Battle of Gettysburg is more well known than the other battles that happened during the American Civil War. And now, coming in at number 3, we have the General Robert E. Lee surrenders to the Union. After 4 years of war, Robert E. Lee finally surrenders to the Union. After the war, Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrenders his 28,000 troops to the Union General, effectively ending the American Civil War. Forced to abandon the Confederate capital of Richmond, blocked from joining the surviving Confederate force in North Carolina, and harassed constantly by Union cavalry, Lee had no other choice to surrender. On April 9th, Lee sent a message to General Grant announcing his willingness to surrender. And now, coming in at number 2, we have the Emancipation Proclamation. President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1st, 1863. As the nation approached its 3rd year of bloody civil war, the proclamation declared that all persons held as slaves with the rebellious states are, and henceforth shall be free. The original of the Emancipation Proclamation is in the National Archives in Washington, D.C. Alright, we're about at the number 1 spot, but as a bonus, did you know that there is some people in the South that doesn't call the Civil War by the Civil War? They either call it the war against the states or the war against Northern aggression, which I thought was pretty cool. I did not know that. One last thing before we get to the number 1 spot. Be sure to subscribe and like this video. Without further ado, here's our number 1. And coming in at number 1, we have the assassination of President Abraham Lincoln. On the evening of April 14, 1865, John Wilkes Booth, a famous actor and Confederate sympathizer, assassinated President Abraham Lincoln at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. The attack came only 5 days after Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered his massive army, effectively ending the American Civil War. Lincoln was pronounced dead at 7:22 a.m. on April 15th, 1865 at the age of 56. The president's body was placed in a temporary coffin draped with a flag and escorted by armed cavalry to the White House, where surgeons conducted a thorough autopsy. During the autopsy, Mary Lincoln sent the surgeons a note requesting that they clipped a lock of Lincoln's hair for her. Lincoln was to lay to rest in Springfield, Illinois, where he had lived before becoming president. So that was the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please give a like and subscribe because this took me forever to make. I deeply appreciate it if you do. And thank you for watching History of Everything.